Hello everyone, I'm Tessellating Hexagons doing another stupid intro apparently, and this is the rundown pyramid, which shouldn't be too tough. No promises looking at those missions, even though I'm not even going for 100% mission shenanigan, but this is Wario Land, the Shake Dimension, and I found out, just as I was booting the game up, that this game is made by Good Feel. The same people who made Kirby's Epic Yarn. What? So they make heavily stylized, side-scrolling Wii games that don't necessarily follow series conventions for first-party Nintendo IPs? Oh, there's peas. Okay, so I press a button, go in the thing, and jump. That seems straightforward and simple. I would say it seems herpes simplex, but I know nothing of the herp. It's simply not my area of expertise. The more I talk about it, the more it's like, oh, methinks the lion doth protest too much, but no, I have no experience of such things. You can get squash. How would you even spell squash, by the way? Like S-Q-U, but then another U-S-H. What even? Also, it may fantasticate you to know that, hang on, what are my missions? Just be speedy, don't pain, money, and yes. Okay. It may interest you to know that this morning of, today is the day after I recorded the previous episode, so I've learned nothing. But this morning I received an email notification saying that I've been approved for YouTube partnering, so I'm a YouTube partner now. Yay. I'm not entirely sure exactly what that means. I know some of it, like obviously I would have had to apply for it in the first place, so I know enough about it to understand why it's a worthwhile thing to do, a thing for me to do on my part, but I applied for it a hot while ago, so I don't know, but they're busy people, but they take time, they time. They are garlic on toast, in a good way. I'm rambling. I'm sure these stairs are going to, yeah, they're going to do that at some point, and that point is now. So what's through the pipe? Now, it occurred to me that I'd want to have like a... Wow, that is handsome. I want to have a personal rule where I get at least one treasure per stage, and the fact that that's at the bottom worries me somewhat, but whatever. Certainly, if I was doing a versus of this game, then what I would do is have like a rule saying that, right, you need either get one mission or treasure minimum per stage, or have those be like one of my requirements, because whenever I do versuses, like, getting to the end of the game is just one category, and for everything else you have to, like, if you finish the game the fastest, that isn't necessarily, like, that doesn't automatically mean that you win. Like, you'd have to get to the end and also, like, get the most treasures, or, like, if you finished the game more slowly, but had all the treasures and all the missions, you'd still win the versus, even if you, like, didn't get to the end faster than the person you're playing against. That's just how I versus. Or, well, with exception, because I've, like, Super Mario Galaxy Bros versus, what would be the appropriate word for that? And I'm aware that I'm sort of sputtering somewhat incoherently because I'm worried about breaking the bucket. But that was a versus where getting to the end of the game is the only requirement for victory. Boo! I worry so much about, like, not breaking the bucket, and then I get to the very end of the track and I break the bucket. Because I'm a ding-dong. Not even a ding-dong buggery fistfuck. I don't even get the full expression, which... Have I ever told the story of that expression? Because there isn't really much of a story to tell. It's just a story from my parents' youth. They had a friend, and one of his catchphrases was ding-dong buggery fistfuck, and that's the extent of that story. I like it because it's the swear that keeps on giving. Also, now I know for next time, those buckets only break if they go off the rails. So I don't need to be quite so paranoid about getting from A to B. And I'm also rather aware that in this episode we will be fighting a boss, and I cannot wait. I remember what the boss is called, and it's kind of Punfred. Well, the boss's name is not Punfred. That's going to descend. Oh. But then how further? Oh, I know. Descend. I will have to descend at some point, because there was that metal flafing in the floor. I've also, like, in playing the game, I sort of didn't vocalize it, but I've worked out as well why Wario doesn't always bounce when I want him to. And that's simply because you can bounce off an enemy if it's not already stunned. If it is already stunned, then you'll just sort of be bumped to one side. So, like, I can bounce off him now, but now that he's stunned, I can only schwangle like that. So, don't worry, I have understood the mechanics of this game. Because I know a certain friend of mine, I did not realize this certain friend of mine was so gung-ho about this game, but apparently she is, and the fact that she's a she should basically tell you that yes, I'm talking about Heather and Stevia. Hi, by the way, I did not realize you liked this game so much. Well, I'm sure she'll get a kick out of any instance where it looks like I may not fully understand the mechanics of the game, when in fact I do. See, I know Wario Land games well enough to know that I should have continued the ground pound there, and indeed I did, and I was rewarded sumptuously. Nothing is sumptuous anymore, and the only things that are supple are breasts. This makes me sad. Yes, Heather, breasts make me sad. I swear there's some sort of interunional conspiracy to question the ethics of my boob ethos. For those who aren't familiar with me, I don't really have strong affiliations for or against breasts. And so, a certain friend of mine who is not Heather and Stevia takes that to automatically mean, oh, well, Tess must be gay then. Like, I have a friend, and I really should, like, call him out on this, and I sort of half do, but I never sound serious enough for him to, like, fully understand the gravity of what's being said. But a lot of the time I'll talk to him, and he'll say, like, I'll say something questionable, and he'll be like, are you sure you're not just gay? And I'll tell him I don't identify as gay. And he won't let it go, and that's technically, like, bullying, I guess. Like, I let him, like, I let it slide because he's a friend, but come to think of it, it's kind of not acceptable. Anyway, I'm having a fantastic time here, so I'll just speed up until I do it. He says, and then immediately does it on his next attempt. Well, whatever. I needed quiet so that I could concentrate on riding the bucket correctly. Wait, you can't throw the butt casually. Also, I needed to stop thinking about nameless friend who insults my personal labels. I don't know. Thing is, sort of reminds me of my father in that regard, in that Tessellating Hexagons, a lovely individual by all accounts. But he is very much Generation X. Like, not a big boomer, certainly not. Like, I can vouch for that. He's not an insufferable boomer. But he does have his moments. Like, if he says anything that's even remotely questionable, like, he is the sort to go super hyper over defensive. Oh, I don't mean to be homophobic. Oh, this isn't meant to be whateverist. And, like, he does this over the most innocuous of remarks. So, he's trying, bless him. But then he's very quick to decry, oh, safe space this, safe space that, it's too sensitive. Like, Father, please. Father, please. Now, was there a... I don't trust this platform, but apparently I should have done. I thought maybe there'd be an exclamation mark thing above it. If this game had a hard mode, and I don't know if it does or not, then I would expect it to be located there. That didn't... Like, I didn't really finish that thought. There's a thing off to the there? How make get excused? Apparently it's just somewhere up ahead. Or so I hope, anyway. It's clearly not a trap. Yes, I shall speak no ill of my father. He has the best of intentions. Now, we must go downwards. And a watcher of this series, Nitro Indigo, shout out to you. You exist. You're a lovely individual. Apparently, according to her, the Murphles look like birds. I didn't see it until that was pointed out. Well, in case it needed clarification, the Murphles are the creatures without whom we cannot leave this world with keeping treasures. That was grammar. Like, it's sort of vaguely explained in the opening cutscene that, like, we can't leave this world and keep all the treasures we've found unless a Murphle takes us out. So that's kind of the game's way of explaining, oh, hey, that's why... like, that's why you can press start in order to quickly quit a level. Excuse you, I pressed it to jump. But you can't keep treasures if you do so. Oh, that's why that's there. So yeah, that's the game's way out of saying, that's why you need to bring a friend to the end, but if you don't, you can still quit the level if you carefully and I don't carefully, but I got all the treasures, and in the grand scheme of things, that's all I care about. Yay. Should not have... Wait, no, that was the correct thing to do after all. I thought maybe I would have to ride the bucket. And twice now I've neglected a bucket when it may have helped. Well, whatever. We made it back to the start with half of my health intact. Health with an F. I shall take it, he says, punching the air victoriously with the Wii Remote. And with that, I mean, that's 11 minutes without editing, and I know there is at least a chunk I will cut out of that. So... financially, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. But we do still have a boss coming up, and I decided between episodes that maybe I should do some sort of clear up of each continent, like, when I fight the boss, if there's enough time in the episode, then I'll go back for the remaining 3 treasures, and, like, in this episode if there's time, and whatever, just continent, clean up by continent. And the boss is called Roll and Rattle. In the Shake dimension, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. References! Yum. Which reminds me of, like, personal beef that I have, and I don't really like playing the Generation game, but I'm gonna bring it up hither and hereupon. The Carry On films, right? You may not have heard of them, and I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't heard of them. But that seems like the baby boomer generation thing to, like, hold over the, like, younger people, because, like, oh, hey, we Carry On films, we've heard of them, we can have it as an answer in our quiz show, and you won't have heard of it because you're too young, and, like, it's a really cliquey thing, I feel like. Or maybe that's just me, but... yeah, I wanna boop you in the face. Nah. Also, are there no missions in here? That just occurred to me just now. Oh, there's spikes from above. Do they shake the ground? Do they make sad times? Because at the moment everything's looking adequate. Ah, a blue one. Will that do a different... It did do a different. Well, then I shall boop you in the face, and you shall just have to live with that. Excuse you, I pressed it to charge. But yeah. Is it just me, or is it, like... I don't have positive feelings towards the Carry On films simply because it seems like a cliquey, like, baby boomer thing where they could have it as their referential in-joke, and, like, somehow we the younger generation are at fault for not getting a reference that was from a crap comedy series from before our time that we could never have watched because it's no longer being broadcast because we're not... Also, fucking... Death Egg? Egg? Oh. I feel like I wasn't supposed to combo that, and I did. Well, yum. But still, is that just me, or am I coming across adequately, suitably clearly? I'm just saying I have some beeves where it's like, ha ha ha, you're a lesser person because you don't get this reference from a show that I've, like, or film or whatever. I don't know. The phrase carry on anything-ing pisses me off just because of those films, because, like, by all accounts, they weren't even that good. But they were made by boomers for boomers, so of course it must be good. You darn kids, you don't understand comedy when you see... I don't fucking know. Yay, we can buy another heart container. I forgot that's how this worked. Oh, whatever. I'm just saying it's not fair. And clearly it's entirely because I'm one of those gosh darn youths. Now, that's a conversation I could have. We have a boss emblem now. For beating, roll and rattle, shaking, rattling, and rolling. But... generations, right. The internet doesn't seem quite sure of how generations are defined. In my opinion, at the moment there are 4 generations currently active. The baby boomers, the Generation X ones who were born in between. Then there are the millennials, which is one category for 2 generations. Generations Y and Z are millennials, and I am of Generation Y. Generation Z are in school at the moment. That's my stance on the whole matter. Now here's the thing, I could buy them up for Area 3 because I really like World 3, and I could go out of sequence. I will buy a heart vessel. But here's the thing, because it's Area 3, that means that the difficulty will be a bit higher, and I have enough hearts to take on what the designers wanted to be World... Like, World 2 is designed with my current setup in mind because I've just got another heart container. But can afford World 3. But you can't stop me. I'm going to YOLO it, which means you can't steal footage of this Let's Play, and then people... You can't steal and people. Like, if someone used footage of this and you saw World 3 unlocked before World 2, you know that there's a chance it might be me at the helm. But also, I'm going to go back into some of the levels we've already done just to go and find the remaining treasures, because I'm going to be ridiculously anal about that. And maybe in doing that, we'll build up enough money to open the second continent as well. Thing is, I really like exactly 2 of the levels in World 3, so that's my excuse? Anyway, I'm gonna head back into some levels. I'm not even gonna start with Rocking Range. We can't even go to Area 2 because I'm defying expectations. We can't even refight the boss, I forgot about that. And, I'll just head back into Whoopsie Desert. I know where this one is, I just need to not fuck up the ending. I need to not second guess the level design, so see you in about 7 minutes. Oh. Sad. Well then. Didn't even get the I took the upper route and everything, and didn't even get the... Why am I bad at life? Well, I got the coin mission, and I don't really have the patience to go through that entire level again? Even though, admittedly, I was taking some time to go after the coins so I could get that mission, but... I seem to recall not going this way, and in fact completely forget... Yep, sure enough, this is just an entire room I completely ignored because I forgot to do a bit of a turning around thing. Oh, good. Hey. It's gonna be one of those kind of puzzles, isn't it? Where I'm gonna just need to just keep trying it over and over again. But at least it has the mercy to not become completely unbeatable, like the moment I mess up slightly. And that's one thing I've not shown so far, but Wario can do like this sort of belly dive, this speedy dive in order to come out of supercharging, and that can, like, that's equivalent to, like, belly sliding down a ramp. It can break through blocks and stuff. Anyway, we're in this room, and I'm going to check up to the right, because I feel like there's something up there that I completely ignored, but I could be wrong. It's money. I think I got that last time. Okay, well, back to your regularly scheduled cutting through this level. Is this how you get down here? I mean, there's that chest there that I ran past last time. Is that gonna take me up to where I need to be, or are we just gonna have a fantastic time bumbling around down here against the clock? Because I need to be up there so I can ground pound down. There's no way of stopping when you're being like that. Oh, Wario, why must you exist? Ah, is there a back? Can we backwards? Can I bounce in the motherfucking house? No, I can't get up there and everything is sad. That was a really good going. Well, the treasure is there anyway. Twice now I must hang my head in shameful defeat. I was so close to... Fish! Every time it's that fish. I'm sad. I will have to get a bit less not good. Well, I suppose I may as well keep talking because I'm, like, right back at the start of the level. And yes, I ignored those treasure pouches because I had a feeling I wouldn't get the 30,000 required to get the mission on this level. This is just going to be a running thing. Like, every episode, I'll come back to this first continent and reattempt these 2 levels until I get those treasures. I mean, as far as you're concerned, I could just play them over and over again now and just cut to my successful attempt and you wouldn't really know the difference. But... pride and shit. Also, I think we can now open World 2 anyway. Well, I made a commitment. Slap my leg. I made a commitment to going to World 3 next, so I think that's exactly what we shall do. So, for now, we're still missing 2 treasures because I'm just shit at life, but we got... Yes, I didn't say a big but. We got some stuff we can be proud of. We have the first boss emblem. We have silver armor. Stylish, but not practical. Like, that item description sticks with me, just because the way it's phrased like that I've remembered for many a year. That just makes me think of Danganronpa. That's not what Moonstone looks like, but sure. And that's just a shapely face. And on that note, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons. Look at all the things we don't yet have, but some of them Like, it says which ones we can find on the third continent because we unlocked the third continent, but that's a story for another time. Have been, will continue to be. You know my name, you know my face, you know literally everything about me, and I've never even met you. So the least you could do is see me in the next episode. Good flag.